You're a startup founder. You think your product is amazing and feel like more people should be buying, but the road is long and slow. It feels like you're stuck. There's always one thing I ask startup founders. Have you talked to your customers? They almost always say, heck yes, we talk to our customers all the time. But what I find is they're either selling or trying to improve their product. These are not customer-focused conversations. If we can get curious about our customers, then we can uncover critical insights that will help us build to the next round. I'm Anna Firmenov, and welcome to Building with Buyers, a show about startup growth where I'll explore how customers help startups build to the next round. Gianna, thank you for joining me. So ChampionHQ is the customer-led growth platform. Surprise, surprise that I wanted you to join me on the show so you can turn your customers into your number one growth engine. And I bet that the platform is really good, especially for companies that have organic word of mouth. Is that true? That's where companies will really be able to ride off of that wave that they already have of customers that love them and are talking about them?
Definitely. I think the key with any, customer-led growth strategy is you have to be driving value to your customers. If that value isn't there, then it's going to be a very negative impact that your customers are going to have on you, right? So that's key to really enabling your customers to be a part of your growth strategy. So it always starts with value, period. Now, we know, right, when you get great value from a service, from a company, it's natural that you want to share it, the amazing experience that you had, how it's changing your life or enhancing your life. And this same concept should be true in B2B SaaS as well. And so it's really, how do you understand and capture who these high value customers are? And then how do you help operationalize it?
Yeah, it sounds super simple.
Super simple. But you know what? The answers always are. We love to complicate things.
We do, don't we?
We do.
We really do.
Yeah.
So ChampionHQ, seed funded.
Yeah.
So of course I wanted to bring you on here. I'm exploring the role that customers play in helping companies build to their next level of growth. So obviously there's a connection there, right? Can we just step back for a second? The listener, me, you, everyone needs to get on the same page. Like, is there a difference between customer-led growth versus customer marketing? I feel like those terms are tossed around. And what do they mean?
That's the hot topic, right? Well, I think that's what everyone's trying to understand. What does customer marketing mean? Is it advocacy? Is it community? Is it both? Is it more? And what's beautiful is that it's really being defined. Now, customer-led growth, in my opinion, is we're really saying there's a channel that exists called customer. So you've got inbound, you've got outbound, you've got partnerships, you should have customer as well. Now, what I think is interesting about customer is that it's both how they influence other deals in addition to their own revenue. So how can you look at a customer and say, okay, how do we ensure renewal and expansion within their current logo, in addition to how might they be able to help influence winning net new deals, increasing win rates, increasing brand exposure? So from my perspective, customer-led growth is really a channel, and the conduit to running that channel is most likely customer marketing.
When you say that, what do you mean?
What I mean is achieve the doing that, because it can't just be a theory, right? You need someone to focus on it. You need someone to build that strategy. You need someone to orchestrate it, to build the relationships. And that's likely going to be customer marketing. I think that having been in SaaS for the last couple of decades, I went from services to product. In services, this notion of relationship-driven sales, call it customer-led, whatever you would like to call it, the hot, name of the day, that's been present for a long time. I think B2C adopted this influencer culture, understanding word of mouth, understanding the power of brand, And this is where B2B product is really moving towards, which excites me. Having been in services for 12 years, tech services, I saw firsthand how powerful it was to scale an organization. I ran RevOps at an organization where I helped drive the scale from 5 million to 100 million. And how we did that was really enabling, and we worked, our sales reps were both account managers as well, right? And so they owned the relationship through and through. And so really enabling them to ask the questions of who else within your organization would benefit from our services? Who else in your network would benefit from our services? Would you mind giving us an introduction? And really understanding those inflection points of when it's appropriate to ask that. So a lot of what we do at Champion is helping to guide our customers and saying, here's the customer journey. Now, how do you overlay customer advocacy, understanding the right ask at the right time to the right person?
I get the sense that companies don't want to bother their customers. Whenever I work with clients, they're like, oh, my work, I have to talk to customers. It cannot kick off unless I have access to your customers.
When I hear that, immediately that evoked this feeling of they are scared of their customers. And I wonder if they really feel like they're driving value for them. It's not a bother, right?
It's such a great point because I get confused. I get confused because I'm like, if you're doing something amazing, you must have those people where you're transforming their work and they want to talk about it. And I've talked to so many customers of so many different companies. They exist. These people exist and they just want to talk to someone.
That's exactly right. And they want to help influence. I think by nature, humans are really good people and want to do right. And when we have people help us, in return, we want to help them as well. Now, something you said was, don't they see the transforming work that they're delivering? And again, that goes back to the value. If you're focused on customers who are getting the deep value, who see your service or your product as something that's helping to influence their work, therefore their career, therefore their life, they're going to be very open to helping. But the key is to focus in on those right people. So what we're doing at Champion as part of our product is we first start with using AI to help determine who is most likely to take a really positive act of advocacy. Who are those customers you should focus in on within this kind of channel strategy?
I'm curious, how does the platform find those people? Because I have a client and they have customers that go back like 7 years, right? How do you know that they're going to be great advocates? Is it based on usage of the platform?
That's one indicator. So what we're doing is we've built a model that's going to look at categorically different aspects that might lead us to believe, right? Or AI to believe that they are a potential champion. And so we are looking at things like product usage, how they're engaging with marketing materials is going to be another indicator. Advocacy is going to self-build upon itself. So as they're serving as a reference, offering a referral, that 7-year historical data that you mentioned, Anna, all of that we'll want to look at. NPS surveys, CSAT scores, if there are proprietary at-risk measures from an account level, right? So we really want to look holistically at all of these different digital touch points across a variety of the tech stack to understand and to feed into this model.
My main question really is, turning your customers into your number one growth engine. How do you do that? What are the steps? How do you get there?
I think step one is first, you need buy-in from the business. And I've seen that our customers with driving the most success within these initiatives have executive level buy-in of really deeply believing that we need to invest in customers in order to grow the business. So there's a deep belief there. Secondly, it's strong alignment with operations because you do need to build workflows and you need to think about how it fits into the holistic life cycle of customer marketing and customer life cycle. And then it's systematically building based on the strategic goals of the organization. So as an example, right, step one, I already mentioned our core is let's identify who you should be focused in on. Who are those champions that are going to have the most positive word of mouth? And then how do we then put them in these revenue driving plays and what's appropriate? So again, we're going to look at triggers of when it's the right time to utilize our champions. How we utilize them and some examples of this, a reference program. A reference program, if done correctly, should decrease time to close and increase win rates. Now you're getting more and more sales buy-in for this. Typically, we see that references are used for really large deals that are high stake. We see two strong scenarios. I ran sales for a very, very long time, right? It's the end of the quarter. Sales rep is closing a whale. They've got the verbal on it. And all of a sudden, procurement is like, oh, we need to speak with two people. And you need to get that done immediately. So speed is of essence here. Another example that we see all of the time is you're in a really competitive deal. You're up against, major competitors who also have a great product. And it really is just going to come down to who do they like and what experiences, right, can they draw from others to help them push it towards you. And so it's lining up a very relevant reference where they're going to have such an incredible network opportunity call. And so again, we use AI to best match like who is going to drive like the most relevant contextualized conversation to help drive it to close. So references are a really strong way to do this. Referrals are also a way to, drive revenue and really expand the network.
What's the difference between references and referrals?
A reference is your customer is on a call with a prospect, sharing their experience. A referral is a customer is sharing their network with you, making an introduction to someone that they think would value your product or service.
Got it.
Two different growth motions. Another way is once a champion, always a champion, right? Your customer base is going to move on. So are you tracking your key decision makers and influencers as they move to another organization to one, help you grow new pipeline because maybe they went to a prospect? And what are these insights and how can you share them with CSMs to best understand if this movement has now put the current logo at risk? So really tracking the movement of your champions is going to allow you to increase pipeline in addition to mitigate risk.
Hey, it's Anna, host of Building with Buyers. I started the show because I found that customers play such an important role in business growth, but they're often overlooked. We're so focused on net new, but the thing that makes you unique is not your product. There are so many companies solving the same problem and they have customers too. The thing that makes you unique is your superfan customers. That's your moat. Most positioning and messaging is guesswork. I'm a customer insights and strategy advisor, and I help my clients by interviewing their customer superfans and translating those insights into clear and compelling positioning and messaging that specific people care about. So you get deeper engagement with customers and prospects, increased inbound to demos, better sales conversations, increased word of mouth, and closed deals. If you're done guessing, stumbling along, and want to be more customer obsessed, reach out. I'd love to help. And now, back to the episode. You mentioned customer lifecycle marketing. And I never thought about it that way, but because I always think about lifecycle marketing. And it's really about who are you talking to? Like, what point are these people in their buyer journey? So they probably, they purchased, but then there's way more after that. We tend to forget all of the stuff that happens after the purchase.
Totally. My favorite line, Anna, is saying, and this is what I think is vastly interesting about the way SaaS go-to-market kind of shaped itself. But a prospect is a prospect, they're a person, and a sales rep is talking to a person. And then all of a sudden that deal closes, and that person now becomes a logo. And a CSM has to manage because of the strong book of business that they have, the thousands of accounts that they might be managing with, even more, users within there. It's a logo. And that gets so depersonalized and counterintuitive to how we know businesses should run, of really knowing your buyer, really knowing your users to make sure that your product is always aligned, that you're getting strong feedback from them so that you're continuing to build for your ICP and your customer base, as opposed to making some at-whim, ill-informed decisions. And so really, I love where you were going, which is like, how do we keep a person, even though now you're really talking about millions, right, within your customer base?
Totally. Yeah. One of the things that companies like to do, marketing teams like to do, is they put together a go-to-market plan and then they're like, okay, let's start. Let's start at the top. Let's start at the top of funnel and let's focus there. And then I'm like, no, 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 no. You want to start at the bottom.
I love that.
And I'm always telling them, like, go to the bottom of funnel, make sure that you have everything that you need to plug the hole, because otherwise you're going to have a leaky bucket. So what's the point of doing all this work at the top if you're going to have a leaky bucket at the bottom? Nobody's going to talk, say good things about you. Nobody gets value from you. You have no case studies to share.
But isn't that what we saw in 2023? The bucket came pouring out in SaaS. And yes, driven by economy. Yes, driven by, a lot of things that were out of our control. But for the longest time, and I think that this has been very much driven by what VCs care about, which is top line growth, right? Like top of ARR growth, new deals, new deals, new deals. And yes, many companies looked at NRR, but not as a driving metric. You cannot grow an organization and scale it, to your point, if that bottom of funnel keeps leaking.
That's right.
One of my favorite activities that I share on every podcast and every presentation and training I do was something that I did as my time at a GM, where I was responsible for SDR, BDR, partnerships, all the way through customer success. And I got all of the, directors and VPs on my team together in a room, and we mapped out the customer journey, but we talked about where there were leaks, where we needed to lean in because things were working, what the experience was like for each employee, right, within each team, and why they couldn't be more successful. And then we thought about it through the lens of the customer. And I developed what's called the taffy effect. If you think about taffy, the way that it's made, it's stretched, it pulls back, it's stretched, it's pulled back. It's a beautiful fluid experience. When taffy is done bad, you could snap it and it breaks, right? And the way that SaaS go-to-market teams have been created, the strategy is it's a very fragmented experience for the customer when it should look like taffy. Because at some points, you need to bring them back a little bit based on their experience and then pull it again. But it's always going to be one beautiful fluid experience. And that's what is not happening. And so again, these are silos. And we talk about breaking these silos all of the time. But really the reason why is because we need to educate each other on why there might be fallout. And that is predicted in the previous stages that the customer is in.
Yeah. I love that idea of like, just go to the whiteboard and talk about the journey and just see like, where are the problems? Where are things going well?
That's
How
right.
can we push into that? Yeah. Again, simple, right?
Simple. Exactly. That's exactly right. It's like, it's going back to our first statement that we made. Let's not overcomplicate it. The answers are right in front of us. Now, yes, there will be times where you may need to employ a completely new strategy. You might need to completely tear something down, but let's start with incremental builds. Let's start with what's in our easiest control and see how much that can tick. And then that's going to open up a whole world of opportunity and readiness.
This is what boggles my mind. Like, you're a company, you have customers, they bought, especially when you're a startup and there's so little trust because you're small, you're growing, you're building something awesome for like a specific group of people that decided to just buy. What the heck? Like that's where to focus, right? And it's simple. And so I think that is just a missed opportunity in so many ways. But how do you incorporate customers as part of your growth efforts? I'm curious.
I mean, we do exactly what, we believe our platform is enabling others to do. A great example, we closed a deal, and right at close, I knew that they were really excited. And I asked them if there was anyone else in their network that was looking that they could introduce me to. I am in procurement with that company now, right? And so it's, again, asking at the right moment to the right person at the right time. So we've got a strong reference program where, all of our new customers want to speak with someone and we know and really try and align the right people for relevant conversations. So it's mutually beneficial as well. As I mentioned, we're inserting a light referral ask at the appropriate times. And now we're really starting to build community as well and really thinking about how we can pair like customers together. We've got the advantage that we're selling into customer marketing, and they are the most giving group of folks who understand this model, who deeply believe in this vision of customer influence so that it's beneficial to the customer as well. And so they've just been a wealth of support, ideas, and just absolute champions of Champion.
Well, marketers are just great to work with, I feel like, like we're just like, yeah, the good ones, they're like, bring it back to the customer, bring value and share things and give it out for free and do something that's unique and valuable. It's just like a unique breed, I think.
Yeah.
Who's doing customer marketing well? Like, what companies do you think do? I just came up with this because I have been trying to talk to more customer marketers as well, just to like get more of them on the show and talk to them about what they're working on, right? Because I think that that's just an area I haven't really explored as much as maybe content marketing or growth marketing or product marketing. Like customer marketing is so powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, we've got some of our customers that are obviously doing absolutely amazing programming. You've got Gainsight with Gain Stars. You've got Braze, which is really very much focused around the customer experience and really identifying the right people. And then you've got others that are not customers yet that I look at and I go, wow, they're doing things really, really well. They're Sendoso. I had one call with them and they sent me a gift. Now, obviously, they're a gifting platform, but just their ability to understand what you like and what's important to you, it's just very cool. And I think Chili Piper, a lot of their, messaging and a lot of their social posts are very much driven through what they're learning from their customers, which I think is exactly the right route to anyone wanting to have a customer-driven business. Another customer that I mentioned, it's a different team, but HubSpot, Jenny and Evan, their team around community, they've got their champion stars. Gabby's running that program. They're doing a dynamite job as well.
How do you do you said you're getting more into community now. And so you talked about pairing customers within the same maybe industry, right? So that they have there's some matchmaking going on so they can kind of talk and help each other through this customer-led growth initiative. What else is part of like, where do you host that community? How do you do it? Do you have any place where people come together and hang out? Is it events? Like, what is community?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I think that there's like the concept of community, which is how do we allow people that believe in what we believe in to come together and learn and share and experience together. And then you've got your community of customers. And I think both of these are extremely valuable because one really helps create a movement and then another really helps drive success. So that's how, and then there's Champion as the product, right? Champion as the product. We built an integration with Gainsight community. So we work with a lot of co-customers on that front, but Champion as a company itself, as our own growth model, we've created a Slack channel. I think we're a little bit early, or we were early to create, like a Gainsight community, though now we're really starting to think about that. But we do dinners. And so we bring people together, and that's more of the broader community. We've hosted some dinners with another customer marketing platform called Purebound. And we did a little bit of a road tour, and we're talking about how AI has influenced customer marketing and what we all predict and share ideas and how it can further influence. And so we try and have some topical questions that can really help elevate the discussion and conversation so that there's purpose to bringing people together. And it's been such an amazing experience. But again, our target market are customer marketers, and they're already so community focused and driven. I feel like we're the guest when we throw these.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Well, thank you, Gianna. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
I like that we dug into the way that you see not only customer-led growth versus customer marketing, but also how your customers are using the platform, but also how you're actually incorporating customers as part of your own growth efforts. And I'm going to look into these companies that are doing customer marketing well, because I want to have more of these conversations around customer marketing. I think it's really important. I think it takes the conversation away from like top of funnel focus for marketing and brings it to the bottom of funnel, which I super believe in. So thank you for joining me. If anybody wants to find Gianna on LinkedIn, she is Gianna Scorsone, and I will include the link. And then ChampionHQ, you can go to championhq.com.
Thank you, Anna. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Building with Buyers. New episodes drop weekly, so make sure you're following wherever you get your podcasts. You can find me on LinkedIn, Anna Furmanov. Visit my website to learn more about how to turn customer insights into positioning and messaging your buyers will understand, furmanovmarketing.com. And don't forget to leave a review if you're loving the show.